please do an intro and then we'll get into the non-dilutive of your story.
Yeah, of course. Looking forward to building on Elaine and Michael's comments. So, I'm more in the weeds and in the trenches, but really quickly before I touch on my background, I've only been here a small number of weeks. Over the course of those weeks, I've had almost a dozen in-person and Zoom meetings with some of you, and it's really been wonderful, for me, and not just to give back, but also to learn what each of you are doing and, help drive the bullpen. So very exciting to be a part of this and look forward to future meetings. So I originally started the bench in neuroscience, working in stem cell research on Parkinson's and Huntington's disease. And that was how I originally stumbled into exosomes or extracellular vesicles, which is what I'm working on now. I quickly transitioned into the world of commercial neurosurgical and orthopedic medical devices and biologics. And then just before COVID, we launched our current company, which is Interactome Biotherapeutics. So we have a novel bioprocess that leverages cells to produce extracellular vesicles to enhance an alternative to LNPs, targeting loading, specificity, and targeting enhancements. We currently have two mature assets, one in oncology that is biopharma partnered, and the other internal program in CNS that is on the inflection point of a current regulatory filing. So I'm here today I made a bunch of notes about the process of non-dilutive funding and a bunch of cool pearls that I'm looking forward to sharing with you.
Well, tell us all about that. It sounds like you've done your fair share of fundraising and in the non-dilutive space.
Yeah, I echo Elaine's comments. And, Michael reached out to me on the last meeting. And like he said, in my follow-up meeting with Michael, I was just blown away by all the resources NIH has that I didn't know about. We've had success, and I would encourage you to look into state funding with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and experience with DoD, CDMRP, BARDA, SBIR, and don't sleep on the Military Health Science Research Symposium. It's a wonderful event to connect with military opportunities and potential collaborations and non-dilutive funding. So, I really wanted to talk today about the process. Like Elaine commented and others, this is not a small lift. When I started out, had a little experience. Now you kind of look around after doing all this and you go, wow, like we're getting pretty good at this. And a lot of that is identification of ensuring you have the right people with the right focus and you're pushing forward the right asset that you have for the right target of non-dilutive funding. So we always encourage people we speak to, including ourselves, is this the right funding instrument for what you're trying to do? And do you really understand the funding instrument, the life cycle, the timing, and then digging into the most important part, which is the people that are going to be the appendages, either internal people on your team, but you definitely need, third parties, as Elaine mentioned and Michael mentioned. So we have spoken to many, many of these consulting companies. We've worked with some serious high-level consultants on the technical writing side. And I think what that kind of eluded was a couple of experts that work very closely with us now, which we're happy to share in CNS and in oncology. And I think finding the right expert in terms of formatting, technical writing, and experience with what you're trying to go after, not only in terms of the vehicle and the systems, but the disease target or diagnostic target, just incredibly crucial. So also considering intellectual property, we have a hybrid immunologist, patent agent that has just, really done explosive things for us. And we never would have expected that to be so important to the process. So I talk about that initially, and then I would transition into document management, navigating like the eBRAT portal, navigating the SBI process. These aren't, again, small lifts. And so there are third-party companies that can, in a non-dilutive way, mitigate those efforts. They can almost do all of it. They can do a lot of the writing. And so if you are curious about any of those companies or opportunities, again, we vetted many. We just submitted a very robust SBIR at the last deadline on April 5th in collaboration with the University of Chicago, director of the Cancer Center, the largest private cancer group in the Midwest, Cancer Hematology Centers of West Michigan, as well as NowDX, the largest private company in the U.S., commercializing lateral flow point of care diagnostics. So I'd be happy to help. And I think the last thing to mention is really partners. Partners meaning letters of support, meaning access to samples, meaning commercial collaborations. These grants are with the end in mind. Is this going to be something that's commercializable? So you need to think about that from the start. And we can help a lot and be sounding boards with any companies interested in vetting the processes or potentially being introduced to some of our experts. And just wanted to thank Michael Salgaller, for connecting with me and reaching out to me. And again, so many benefits from the bullpen, and happy to share more and answer more questions.
Adam, that's amazing. You've been such a great cheerleader since you joined, honestly, bringing resources and just positive energy, and it just keeps building. So we want more great people like you to join